Hello, and thank you for joining us for the next webinar in our series, where we will hear from our agency partners. We are pleased to be able to share network insights with you remotely, and I'm Jessica Brown, agency partner here at Awin UK. It's now been over 100 days since we were asked to stay at home, but as the lockup continues and the economy starts to open back up, we're looking at the early indicators and what to expect as we move into peak trade over the rest of 2020. In this webinar, we will review data from across the network, focusing on H1 and put a spotlight on some of the main markets and sectors that Awin and ShareASell operate in globally. We're also joined by our expert agency panelists for a live Q&A. So I'll briefly introduce you to our panel now and give formal introductions before our discussion. Today I'm joined by Steve from ThoughtMix, Katy from Acquire, Geno from Navigator, Johannes from Projector, and Emily from IProspect. To kick off the session, I'll be having a look at how we work closely with our agency partners at Awin and ShareASell and what we have seen in terms of performance trends throughout H1 this year. This will be followed by a prepared Q&A with our specialist panel, and we will then end the session with questions from the audience. And you can submit questions all the way through the webinar by using the small toolbar that appears in the middle of your screen. Select the Show Q&A icon, a chat bar will open up at the side of the screen for you, and you can type your question or comment. You can also upvote questions submitted by others. So, with an average of 120 partners by market actively driving advertiser results at Awin and ShareASell, we thought we'd start off with an overview on how we work closely with our agencies. As your agency partner, I'm here to develop and implement a successful affiliate agency strategy across all sectors to meet the bespoke needs of varying advertiser types and sizes. So this means keeping you up to date with dedicated insights, events, webinars and updates, and connecting you to all of our agencies within Awin and ShareASell's global publisher base. As part of the wider client partnerships team, our goal is to offer exclusive insights and benchmarking across the largest global affiliate network. We can ensure a tailored approach to your agency needs and reporting requirements, and this is available to all agencies from 1 to 1,000 plus employees. Our agency partners can further benefit from access to established and open publisher and influencer directory via our user-friendly platform. Coming from Published and working across all the various networks and SaaS providers for the past 5 years, I was unaware of just the level of trafficking Awin had with our master tag and robust server-to-server solutions, only to mention a few. We can also set up fast-track integrations across established agency partnerships to ensure new clients are up and running in no time. On top of all of this that we offer, we also have ongoing training and support in the form of Awin workshops that go into detail around the relevant features we have available on our platform. Or we can give a broader introduction to the affiliate channel if the wider agency business wants to gain an in-depth understanding on how affiliate marketing works and can benefit their client base. To set the scene in terms of what's been happening across our global agency partnerships, I'll now take you through some global and market data trends we've picked up from January to June 2020. So with the majority of EU going into lockdown in March and individual states in the US beginning to lock down measures at different times, with California and New York State going into lockdown on the 19th of March and 22nd respectively, while Georgia became one of the last to implement such measures on the 3rd of April, we saw the effect of store closures as customers adapt to changes that a COVID world presents. As we delve into what impact this had on Awin's global market over the past 6 months to date, the graph highlights monthly growth percentages from April to June, where we saw a huge increase in global sales. This was driven largely by the 40% increase from retail and shopping advertisers. Travel unsurprisingly took a hit with travel restrictions in place, and we've seen a 51% decline in travel bookings versus H1 last year. Telco remained relatively stable with a 2% decrease in the number of transactions taking place alongside a string of new launches, including the iPhone SE in April. And globally, finance and insurance was down 29%, with the travel insurance market also impacted by holiday bookings not being able to go ahead. Overall, there's been a 19% uplift in performance across the global market during H1, and eMarketer are forecasting a 16.5% rise in e-commerce growth rate for 2020. That factors in the pandemic's effects, down from 20.2% last year. So the rise in online shoppers could be here to stay. From a personal perspective, I developed new habits over lockdown, such as home workouts and beauty regimes, and had a really positive experience ordering new gym wear that was complemented with social-based workout inspo and how-to beauty guides from influencers when attempting to keep my brows in check and not being able to visit the salon. Although I may return to my physical gym and beauty treatments, I will continue to try out new recommendations of activewear and others at home beauty treatments. This is due to the relationship I've formed with these brands and it being so strong. If new online shoppers had a positive experience and advertisers continue to optimize ongoing relationships, we see a strong H2 ahead for the affiliate channel. As a network, we're here to support in the form of recommending emerging publishers that are adding value through varying touch points throughout the sales funnel, and offer sector analysis and insight support to our agency partners, so strategic direction is informed as changes in performance happen. Now we will take a look at growth by market. So as we're shortly joined by agency panelists from across the UK, Germany and US, we decided to drill down to take a look at what's happening in these markets using Awin's data. In the UK, with lockdown easing, we have seen performance steady at an increase of 16% so far in 2020. With shops reopening and travel restrictions lifting, driving consistent month-on-month recovery as a sector, we anticipate continued year-on-year growth as we enter the second half of the year. In the US, sales are also up 23% versus 15% growth in H1 last year. This is in line with our global trends data that the retail sector has been the main driver. eMarketer reported that US e-commerce will rise 18% in 2020 amid the pandemic, following a 14.9% gain in 2019, a further evidence of the digital shift. They put this down to notable increase in both the number of digital buyers and the average spending per buyer. These gains reflect the pandemic's impact on new buyers joining the online retail space, including 12.2% growth for those aged 65 and older. Looking to Germany, the 17% increase is positive news for digital channels, with advertisers in Europe reportedly pulling back on overall ad spend in the wake of the pandemic. Digital ad spend in France will rise just 0.5% this year to 4.93 billion euros. In Germany, spending will rise 0.8% to 7.38 billion euros, while all other channels, including out-of-home and TV, are subject to cuts in ad spend. This suggests that as an industry, performance marketing within the wider digital mix has proven to be scalable when it comes to spend, and we've been able to retain a strong ROI throughout the uncertain times experienced in 2020 to date. From market sales to market sectors, we now take a look at which subsectors within the retailverse have been converting well in H1. In May, our Shopping Trends Retail webinar partner Joelle took us through the retail sector trends by market, highlighting subsectors such as sports equipment and clothing seeing 35% growth in both the US and UK, and an 80% growth in Germany over April. This time, we wanted to have a look at how these trends stacked up globally, alongside that strong 40% uplift across the retail and shopping within the global market. On screen now, you can see our top 10 trending subsectors that have seen the largest growth in global terms. Think of this as your affiliate alternative to a top of the pops chart rundown. So in at number 10, we have our health and beauty sector, seeing a 39% year-on-year gain. With our at-home hair trims, beauty maintenance, and more time on our hands to take care of health and well-being from home, it's unsurprising that we saw growth in the sector over H1. Following another corona trend, pet and pet care was up 41%. With many people deciding to invest in a pandemic pet to keep them company over lockdown. The Metro listed searches for rentals that allow cats and dogs more than doubling, a rise of 109% in lockdown. The lingerie sector saw further increases of 50% globally, and we know that sales in the sector stood out in Spain with a 315% in April alone. DIY and home garden rose 60% respectively, with many TikTok users documenting highly satisfying home makeovers, leaving us in suspense for daily updates. One US TikToker, Emily Rayner, retrieved 3 million followers and 16.2 million likes from her ongoing full house renovation, which she began over lockdown on a tight budget and as a surprise to her parents. Next up, books and entertainment comes in at number 6, with 96% global sector growth and aided by the Black Lives Matter movement, with many people wanting to read up on the history behind it. Gifts and flowers sector also saw a 97% increase, with lockdown birthdays, celebrations and Mother's Day all falling within H1, driving a demand for online gifts and purchases where we've not been able to be there in person. The business sector is an interesting one, seeing a 107% uplift. We've attributed this to a change in customer for B2B advertisers as we see AOV drop down and sales increase in the sector. This suggests a shift from office manager bulk buy orders for stationery, monitors and industrial cleaning products to working from home consumer base. And finally, as we look for ways to stay entertained over lockdown, H1 saw global increases in toys and games of 124%, sports to keep us active at 132%, and wine and spirits at 155%, as we stock up and celebrate a range of national holidays all over the world in H1, with a closed down hospitality industry in many markets. So what does all of this mean for H2? Looking at Awin's first half of the year data before and during the pandemic, we've seen that year-on-year performance is very strong across most retail subsectors, and it's continued to grow despite some large retail brands pausing programs or reducing spend. So what can we take away from this period and expect for the remainder of the year? In part, the retail growth has been due to substantial increases in performance by many smaller niche retailers, which have attributed to the 12% year-on-year growth in commission spend overall. Due to a change in customer needs and a spike in demand of food and drink supplies, we've seen the share of market diversify. We predict strong continued growth from the rise in smaller advertiser contribution as we see the larger programmes start to upscale their budget in line with stock becoming more available as the high street reopens. But the power really is in the hands of the affiliates to ensure that the representation of brands continue to be diverse from SMEs all the way up to leading global brands. As an industry, we want to avoid putting all our eggs into one advertiser's basket when it comes to top performing sectors. The week that the high streets reopened again, Awin's overall retail sale volumes remained flat. However, browsing online saw a 14% increase week on week, despite stores being open. This suggests some purchases are now being completed on the high street after online browsing. Conversion rates stayed consistent at 7%, and average basket values also saw a small rise of 4% to £131. From this, and despite shop doors being opened, online performance is still booming. Liners is up for an exceptional peak trading period and Black Friday 2020. Based on these early indications and general trends witnessed throughout the pandemic, we predict peak season will be between 5 and 10% up on 2019 volumes. So now we're all up to date with Awin's global market trends. Let's meet our global range of agency panelists to get their view on a range of topics in our Q&A. I am now joined by agency panelists Steve Bryant, Managing Director at ThoughtMix, a specialist affiliate management agency delivering partnerships for brands across the globe, helping them to connect with influencers, affiliates and audiences to drive results. Katy Hughes, who is the Client and Operations Director at Acquire, a boutique premium proactive affiliate management agency managing a variety of fantastic brands. Geno, who is the founder and CEO of AM Navigator, an award-winning OMP agency that provides an array of affiliate marketing services, from full-service affiliate program management to co-management, audits and consulting. Johannes Rona is the team lead and marketing of CSS at Projector, an online marketing agency based in Leipzig with a strong focus on performance and consulting, as well as content and creation. And finally, Emily Mendika, who is Associate Director, Affiliates Team Lead at iProspect, a global award-winning agency focused on converting customer intent into action and driving business performance for many of the world's brands. Just a note that you can submit questions all the way through the webinar by using that small toolbar that appears in the middle of your screen. So we'll now go through to the questions. So I'm going to direct this first one at Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Jessica.
Yeah. So as a digital agency, your responsibilities can often consist of managing marketing activity for brands across several different channels. Where does that affiliate sit amongst those channels, and how do the different channels interact?
So specifically at IProspect, we have activation teams across all of the different marketing channels that our clients might want to activate. We're really well positioned in that way, and especially within the affiliate channel. So we are quite uniquely positioned as a channel itself in that we have a really low barrier to entry in terms of all of the different teams making noise. In terms of all of the different channels that we can offer. So what works really, really well for us internally is monthly roundtables for our clients, which consist of all of the different activation teams and our client services teams as well from a strategy perspective. We can all come together collaboratively and we can have knowledge shares around performance over the last month, things that have worked well, any difficulties that we've faced or that we know are coming up, and we can determine collectively again the best route to take across all of our individual channels. It just works incredibly well for us to have the wider picture and not be siloed into this is our affiliate strategy, this is our paid search strategy. So just making sure that we're consistently communicating across all of the different channels and using that to activate the best possible campaigns for our clients.
Perfect, that makes a lot of sense. The roundtables sound really good. And Katy, did you want to give a bit of a view on that one from an acquire perspective?
Yeah, definitely. So we pretty much only offer at the moment our premium affiliate service. It's mainly because, again, that's what we know and that's what we're good at. I personally have been in the industry over 10 years, and we've got obviously a vast amount of account managers that are really, really knowledgeable within affiliates. We work with obviously all other agencies when we are working with our clients as well. And we obviously love attending all affiliate, all agency days and just trying to talk and figure out, I guess, what other agencies are doing. It's at the end of the day, all up to the client, isn't it, really? And we all need to feed it into their strategy. And as long as we all come together and represent everyone in a really strong way, the affiliate channel is just there to obviously really feed off of everything else that everyone is doing, and how we can influence it and help it in any way, because it is a performance metric. And yeah, we love attending, obviously, these all the agency days and learning off other agencies as well.
Great. And Geno, does that change in any way in the US, or is it sort of the same sort of following suit?
It's funny, if there's one topic that's really my favorite topic in affiliate marketing, it's the whole talk about channels versus channels. And I have a very strong opinion on this one. It may differ from many, but I actually believe that it is not right to compare affiliate to any channel, because affiliate is so much broader than any channel. Case in point, take a paid search affiliate. If your affiliate program allows for paid search, who do you compare the paid search affiliate to? To your own paid search marketing, probably, if there is the possibility for competing. Same with content. Take a content producing, be it user generated or their own content. Wouldn't it be sensible to compare it to your own content marketing efforts and strategy and the results that it yields? So what I always say to my clients, and this is, I don't know about the whole of the US, but I know about our clients, they are cognizant and appreciative of the fact that affiliate is more of an umbrella over various channels, and inevitably your own brand's marketing activity in other channels spills over into the affiliate and the other way around. So ultimately what you want to do, you want to fly in sync with your affiliates and ensure that they have everything they need to amplify your other marketing and to really lubricate that path to conversion, whatever channels they use. And there was actually someone from the UK that posted this on LinkedIn, I think last week. I'll rephrase it because it had some non-publishable language. He said, if you suck at paid search, get an affiliate. If you suck at content, get an affiliate. If you suck at social, and he just lists the channels. And the idea of complementing your weaknesses with their strengths is really when it works best, when it really flies together. So that's my take on it, and it's working with what we do for our clients.
And Steve, do you have anything to add on that? Because I know you operate across the US as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to echo Geno quite a lot there, I think we should see affiliate not as a channel, but as a payment model. So as Geno quite rightly said, the versatility of the channel means that you can run a legitimate paid search campaign, a legitimate influencer campaign. And this is the key consideration, is that we've been working very closely with our clients about extending their budget. So they're coming to us and saying, do you know what, we've run out of paid search budget. Can we use affiliates to extend that? Can we use them as an additional source of budget for keywords or key phrases, which we can't do internally ourselves? CSS as a prime example of that, that's a non-traditional affiliate, but actually that's delivered huge amounts of results, not just for our clients, but across the sector, as an additional way of delivering search volume from Google as a prime partner. So I think from that side, as you know, to sync up with Geno, it's all about affiliate as a payment model rather than as a channel.
Thanks, Steve. And Johannes, on the CSS front, do you have anything to add from your perspective?
Well, first of all, somehow there are many people or clients that still have that silo mentality, which means they have the paid channel of, for instance, SEA, Google Ads, Microsoft Ads. They have, for instance, social ads. And of course, all of the companies or all of the people working in the companies, they're eager to get the most of the budget out of it. So that's really hard. That's also something that has to deal with the way the sales and the revenue is measured with a last cookie wins or last click wins mentality. That's also somehow hard. As Geno and Steve also mentioned, I'm a fan of saying affiliate marketing is not a channel at all, because it's way more than a channel, and we are able to adapt and to get more publishers on board that can help the advertiser if he has, for instance, problems in search or something like that. So somehow still the budget thing and the silo mentality, but a broader view. And as mentioned, the CSS thing, it's European only, where you can use Google Shopping and get on board on Google Shopping and pay on a CPA-based level. This is something that has a really big leverage on affiliate marketing as well. And we can see there even increases with publishers who already have a big Google Shopping campaign in their account. And we can see, okay, there's no cannibalism there.
Perfect. That leads quite nicely, actually. Johannes, I don't know if you wanted to carry on from that, but in your time working within the industry, do you think the perception of affiliates has changed with this sort of the new models that are coming into play and with CSS, for example, coming in?
Somehow there's a changement because we have new models coming up for European. It's that CSS thing. Still, a lot of people think that content is king. Well, of course, content is very important if you have content publishers, but yeah, the clients need to be aware that they're not the savior of an affiliate program. You need to have the other people or the other businesses on board as well that can assist in the whole customer journey. There are still a lot of things that changed. I just want to mention voucher publishers. You know, they're still the ones who are blamed within Germany as well, because they are always those who take away the last click or the last cookie and will thus get the whole revenue. This is also something I have to deal with, you know, once or twice a week, where advertisers and leads are only arguing this way. But this is something, well, it's tied to the attribution model, you know, still last click and last cookie wins. This is really hard. So there needs to be changement. And then it's, I think, easier for everybody just to argument, and then you cannot blame one publisher, for instance, in the whole customer journey for being, the black sheep.
Yeah. So the changes in some of the different publisher types and how they're rewarded, I guess. Katy, have you had, obviously you've been in the industry a long time, what are the sort of main changes that you think have happened in terms of the perception of affiliates?
So I do think it was kind of a misunderstood channel initially, and it was kind of like goal hangers and all these kind of phrases that were passed around. I think now, again, we don't necessarily see ourselves as like affiliate managers. It's more partnerships and exploring other different avenues. Obviously, like influencers are now part of the affiliate channel. Obviously, we're saying like CSS, and as long, again, it's the goal of the client that we're looking forward to. And I think the perception, either within agencies as a whole, affiliates is coming up in more topics and more of the channels than it used to be. And like we said, leveraging the budgets into the affiliate channel, because it's on a pure performance metric, it just makes it so much easier to trial, and then you can obviously, all of your results and things, it's a lot easier to, I guess, do business cases around. And I think, yeah, just obviously everyone in the industry has done a lot to change the perception of it. And I think, yeah, there's obviously better, bigger times to come with all different things that we're obviously looking at and expanding it. But I'm glad that obviously it has moved away from us being, I guess, like cheeky little thieves at the end, waiting to get the sale.
Yeah, definitely. And Emily, in the sort of wider iProspect and Dentsu sort of landscape, have you seen affiliates change the perception within sort of internally as well as externally? Oh, you're on mute.
Yep, sorry, was definitely on mute there. Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in affiliates for 7 years, but iProspect specifically for 3 years. It's always been a very well-regarded channel within iProspect, but also the Dentsu wider agency. But I think being able to demonstrate over recent years the value that we can drive for clients, we've had a really big PR piece internally, making sure that our client services teams are really clued up on how affiliate marketing works, all of the different ways that we can drive value for our clients, and it's helped massively. I think we're in a much better place than when I started out in the industry 7 years ago. I think the increase in transparency has helped massively. Affiliate functionality has come on leaps and bounds over the last couple of years with all of the tech partners that we've had come into the space. We can do a lot more with targeting and personalization, and that's everything that our clients want. Yeah, it's really improved over the last couple of years in terms of how the channel is regarded externally. It's always, like I said, it's always been incredibly well regarded internally, which we're really lucky for, as I know it's not everywhere. But yeah, I think just really showcasing the value that we can drive, looking at how we position incrementality within the channel, communicating that out to both the internal business, giving our client services teams the tools they need, but also continue with ongoing client education as and when we, we're developing our strategies within the channel on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and just making sure that we're feeding that commentary back to kind of every stakeholder, both internal and external.
Great, that's really insightful. Thanks, Emily. And I'll come over to you now, Steve, if that's all right. What has been the impact of the pandemic on how your clients have been working with you, and have their priorities changed? And are they spending more or less in the digital market right now? I guess you could look at that from a UK and US, and maybe it might differ. So.
Yeah, it's quite a wide question, that, because we've got clients that are across sports and gym wear all the way through to travel, and that's where you really see polar opposites in terms of what's happened over the last few months. If we start with travel, obviously with global restrictions in place, you've seen bookings almost dry up to zero. So therefore, they're in a position of saying, OK, how do we redirect budget? How do we actually pull back on budget for now so we can invest in Q3 and Q4 once we have some certainty? And that's been the quite interesting dynamic with how do we position those types of advertisers that can't really sell right now. On the other side, you have, as I said, those athleisure, gym wear and gym equipment brands that have just gone through the roof. I mean, we've got one client who did more than 3,000% year on year in March. And they, conversely, are struggling to keep up with the amount of orders that they've got. So they're having the interesting conversation of saying, we want to take all of this audience because we've got the product, we've got the site, we want to sell it, but we can't get it out the door fast enough. So it's about working with them in an intelligent way to make sure that we're still keeping up that share of voice in the channel, we're still keeping up the amount of customers coming through the door, but we're also trying to load balance what they've got in their warehouse and trying to support them so that they don't get overloaded. But it's really been a tale of two halves. And I think for those clients where who they're selling products which are, I guess, in fashion or in season, they are doing extremely well. We've got a client in the US which pivoted their production to sell face masks, and they've just gone through the wall in terms of the amazing response that they've had to selling that product. So I think brands have really embraced it, and I think for those that have had a challenge in selling their service or product over the last few months, they're just taking stock to say how can they come back bigger and better in Q3.
Yeah, that sounds like good. You've also answered sort of our next question on the sectors, so thanks for covering that within that one. And if I could come to you, Geno, sort of within the same theme, according to the IMF recently, the coronavirus is expected to take a $12 trillion hit on the global economy. With a global recession likely, how do you think customer behaviour will change in the coming months? And how can affiliate marketers seek to maximise their advertising activity in this climate?
Good one. Yeah, tying it also to something that Steve was talking about, seeing very much of the same across our clients. I am excited to report that there were more clients that actually benefited from the offline to online shift. Yes, the overall economy may be taking a hit here and there, depending on the country, and whenever whatever country or state opens up. But I'm seeing something very, very positive, that just amid the pandemic, we launched a couple of affiliate programs, or actually a few. One was relaunched from a brand that had some legacy to deal with, yet within 2 months, we got them from nowhere, they are on share sale, into the top 50 programs out of 6,000 on share sale. Really, the niche where offline brick and mortar retailers suffered and consumers shifted online, it's the mattress space. Who wants to go into a physical store and try a mattress these days, right? After whoever else tried it before them. So and in that specific niche, we were expecting the online penetration to go from 24% to 28% this year. Heck, there are like 90% or 90% plus people shopping for mattresses online, and the same in many other niches. So I think there are many more opportunities to leverage than things to worry about. Yes, we also have a travel niche client that sells travel insurance, and of course the insurance doesn't cover the thing that everyone wants to be insured for, the COVID. So that kind of took a bad hit. But overall, I would say just look for niches, be it from gym equipment to online training to home furnishings to whatever people do buy online from your previous chart, and leverage those.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've really seen that reflected on Awin, and it's actually quite a nice story to come out of it, that these sort of new advertisers are coming up through the channel. So just looking on to our next question, there's one around social e-commerce. I don't know if someone wants to volunteer themselves here, but social commerce options have evolved rapidly over the last few months, with the likes of Facebook and TikTok ramping up their e-commerce offerings. Do we expect to see our clients focus more attention on these platforms as a means of generating more customers and sales online? So we're probably referring most to the announcement from TikTok for Business here. So I don't know if anyone wants to go ahead and put themselves forward to answer that one.
Well, I think all I'd say on that is that I suppose I don't think it's necessarily going to replace their own online offering. I see it certainly as a third-party platform, so another eBay or Amazon, to complement their existing offering. Obviously, I think for a lot of retailers, especially our retailers in the SME market, I think they've got nothing to lose by going on there. So if they're creating another opportunity to sell, another customer to find, I think they'll embrace that, and I think they'll put part of their budget towards it. But I think the focus, certainly from our side, has been taking sales away from third-party platforms onto their own e-commerce offering. So it'll be interesting to see how it works over the next few months.
Definitely. And in terms of like influencer activity and lead gen campaigns, where do they sit within your businesses, and how do you tend to run these through the affiliate channel? So maybe I could direct that one to you, Johannes. Well,
yeah, influencer in affiliate marketing is, well, Some are hard, again, due to the attribution model, you know. And you can only use tracking link if you swipe up and something like that, and it's overwritten by other clients or other partners. So influencer marketing is regarding the tracking somehow hard. And for instance, in Germany, there were a lot of, yeah, let's call them fake influencer and black sheeps, as I'm going to tell them now, who bought followers, who just wanted to get a lot of budgeting to promote the brand. So influencer marketing, well, that was a really challenge for the real influencers, but now after influencer marketing is like 3 years old, I think it's growing up, and now you can work with influencers. You have that swipe up, which makes it easy to measure. You can use your own voucher code like Johannes 10, and then it's also easy to measure with the Awin voucher tracking and that stuff. So influencer marketing is getting older, and the biggest question, of course, is to find the best influencer for your own brand. That doesn't mean that it has to be the biggest one with like 10 million followers. It has to be the one that's used most to your advertiser. And then you can be even successful in a niche or something where you would thought, okay, that doesn't make any sense. For instance, in the welding section, we have a client who is really working close with influencers such as micro influencers who do not have like 1 million followers, but only like 20, 40 or 30, who also use YouTube and not only Instagram. And then it's okay and easy for you to use influencer activities to boost your own business and sales.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Emily and then Katy, have you got anything to add on the sort of TikTok and influencer realm of things and how that sort of sits within your affiliate activity?
Yeah, of course. Oh, sorry, Katy. Yeah, so within influencer activity as a whole, we obviously have an organic and paid social team. So larger campaigns will absolutely sit with them as the experts in that field. But what we're seeing happening more is they will increase the longevity of those campaigns by onboarding those published as an affiliate as well. So once the campaigns have ended, the influencers are still being rewarded and incentivized to push the brand in question. So we are seeing more of collaboration as opposed to a conflicting overlap between what we do within the affiliate product and what the organic and paid social product do. In terms of TikTok, that's absolutely something that our social teams are looking into, and as and when they know how it sits within their kind of platform mix and how it can be correctly monetized for our clients, then we'll probably have a conversation internally about how that we can then support them with that. But I think it'll be a very similar proposition where we look to not be the starters of the activity, but more creating longer term partnerships from the campaigns that they activate.
Definitely. And Katy, did you have something to add to that as well?
Yeah, so similar to Emily, like we do with some of our clients run influence activity through the channel, and again it is more of a collaboration there to, I guess, as like an additional they can still obviously get commission after they've run campaigns, and we do obviously lots with like the tracking and looking at how used their codes and things are, whereas we have some obviously that just want to run obviously separate through their like PR agencies and that. We do have the kind of separate like welcome packs and things just for the influencers as well, because obviously I guess it's a bit of a daunting area for them if they're not really sure on how to do tracking and everything like that. So it's kind of a full scale that we kind of do, because we want to make sure obviously everyone feels welcome in the channel, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely the goal. And Geno, did you just want to touch upon that? And then we've got some questions from the audience that we can go through.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. So I think influencers and affiliates and affiliate marketing is just a perfect match. In influencer marketing, and I'm saying this as the founder of a conference that no longer exists. Unfortunately, we had a couple of them in New York, and was called Influencer Marketing Days. I heard all of these influencer marketing agencies talk about building relationships and how much of it of the success is dependent on the relationships, yet the compensation model that was predominantly used was a one-off payment. And back then I started connecting these influencer agencies with affiliate networks and with affiliates, and the whole concept of, look, have them link through an affiliate link so that every time it tracks and commission is paid, you actually entice more of the engagement and hopefully motivate them to keep building the relationship with you. You'll keep co-creating content, or they will be creating content on you, for you. So no, I definitely believe there's a lot to benefit from in the influencer, but again, much depends on the size. Like Johannes has mentioned, in influencer marketing, the most powerful part is what they call power middle, anywhere between 10,000 and under 100,000 followers. Anyone beyond that is just a macro, and they're more of a billboard to get your brand in front of people, but not to expect much in terms of action. But the power middle, the smaller influencers, definitely married with the affiliate model that Steve has mentioned earlier, is definitely the way to go, and that works for our clients as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Geno. And I'll ask all of you this one, but we'll start with Steve. What is the benefit? This has come from an anonymous question asker in the audience. What is the benefit of, one, a publisher working with an agency, and two, a brand working with an agency?
Well, I'll save the sales pitch for now, but in the meantime, I guess looking at question one, a publisher working with an agency, I guess that's a relatively easy one, which is a publisher themselves may have a small team. It may be just themselves working with an agency partner to connect you with more advertisers, more retailers, and so on. Just allows you to collaborate more, create more partnerships, and create more revenue streams for you as a publisher. Conversely, it works almost exactly the same for an advertiser going out to more publishers. So typically in an organization, for an advertiser, you may be a marketing manager, you may be a marketing director or a digital marketing manager. You've obviously got quite a lot of disciplines to look after. Affiliates and the nature of partner marketing is a very time-intensive channel to work in. It's not typically very automated. So what you have to do is spend that time to build up that relationship with that partner, to look at ways in which you can collaborate. Now, if you then apply that to your own affiliate program or your own partner marketing activity, you can look at that and say you can spend an awful lot of time trying to build up relationships with partners, finding out who they are, and then spending the time to connect with them. By using an agency, you essentially get all of that time back, because you have the agency partner who already has the partnerships and connections with those publishers that you want to work with. They can connect you and then also understand what works and what doesn't work. So what I would say is that's the benefit of working with an agency on both sides of the argument.
Perfect, thank you. And Johannes, have you got anything to add to that?
Just the fact that affiliate marketing is somehow people's business, we're in contact with people. And as Steve already mentioned, if you have a publisher who's asking you a question and you can say, yeah, here's the answer, but this program here also suits to you. Do you want to onboard that again? Or if you are a brand or an online shop and the e-commerce and you want to work with an agency, you can rely on their experience and rely on their expertise, because they know who are the persons we can contact, for instance, for in cashback publisher or in the price comparison thing. Of course, you can set up an in-house team, but it will take a lot of effort and it will also be expensive. So agencies like ours or the mentioned here, they can help you in a way that it's efficient and it's easy for you, because you just have the agency you can contact as a brand and you do not have to deal with all the publisher asking some questions or the networks themselves.
Thanks, Johannes. And Geno, one of our other questions that are sort of along the same lines are, how does Awin support you in recruiting, managing and tracking unique partner types outside of traditional affiliates? So I guess Awin and Shericel in your case.
Right. Yeah, no, I know for a fact that mine was one of the very first affiliate programs started on Shericel, one that I started for my own business. I owned an online store at the time, And as soon as I discovered ShareSale, I migrated from the other platform. And ever since then, pretty much since the beginning of ShareSale, we saw the tool, the platform shape and tools added, and they have always been extremely responsive to the needs of OPMs, outsourced program managers specifically, and in-house program managers. So great tools, really cool stuff on the tracking front. We are using clickstream rules to really make sure that affiliates are compensated properly. If someone is really an amazing introducer, we can set it in ShareSale for their cookies, for their first touch cookies, to actually take priority over the last click in a last click affiliate program. There's a leapfrog rule that we can implement for anyone who touches the consumer on the very bottom of the sales funnel when the item is already in the shopping cart and someone is just looking for a discount. And maybe we do not want to compensate someone who purely made it appear as if there was a discount when there wasn't, but the whole goal was to set the cookie. So lots of tools and we can then, with the leapfrog rule, kind of roll back to the previous affiliate. Lots of cool things that ShareSale provides in the US for sure, and still being very responsive and supportive of what we do there.
Thank you, Geno. Yeah. And Katy, having come from Awin, how does Awin support in your recruiting, management, tracking unique partner types outside of the traditional affiliates? So same question to you.
Yeah, Awin Day. I think even just from being Awin anyway, like internally, you guys obviously have like publisher presents and things, and like us working with you, it's still extended obviously to agencies as well. So, and I think it's kind of a wider thing in the channel that we all need to be collaborative and I guess transparent, which we are as an agency, and I know Awin is as well. So that's obviously how you guys definitely support us with like the recruiting. Obviously the managing and the tracking is second to none. Like you guys are a great network to work with. I think there's a lot going on at the moment with all kind of like the brand to brand marketing and just kind of expanding that view there. And I know we're in discussions with Awin as a whole, like about what we can do for our clients in terms of all of that as well. So like looking obviously outside of the traditional voucher cashbacks and influencers and things, and what we can do with other brands and how you guys can track that. So again, like I said earlier, it's quite exciting to look at moving forward with all the new things coming in as well.
Great, thank you. And Emily, just going to come to you for one of our prepared questions. We'll go back to the other answer Q&As in a minute, but kind of within the same theme, what new affiliate models or businesses are you most excited about at the moment? So that could be tech, publisher, I guess any niche models that you're working on.
Yeah, so tech publishers are absolutely where I see a lot of growth within our products over the coming 12 months, especially the next 12 months. The affiliate marketplace, obviously, the functionality has improved massively with kind of standalone publishers, but with the tech we're seeing with the likes like open banking, hyper-personalised, real-time discounting, that's where we can drive real value for our clients. And one of the things that, like I said before, I think has really helped shift the perception. Obviously not a new model, but something that's a really big focus for us over the coming months is lead generation as well. So I'm really excited to activate more campaigns for that. Cross-sell for us as an agency is obviously a really important thing right now. So whether we can cross-sell to existing agency clients if they're a traditional affiliate, sorry, my dogs have just joined me and they're very likely going to bark, I'm so sorry. If a traditional affiliate program isn't necessarily right for an agency client, but we could look at a lead generation proposal, that's where I see a lot of growth for us as a product. So yeah, I think tech and lead generation are where we're absolutely focusing our efforts over the coming months and into next year as well.
Great. Does anyone have anything to add to that about their excitement for new products and things that they can work across in affiliates?
Well, I'm really looking forward to that content commerce business that's coming up. You know, you have the big publishing sites who publish news, who have a big organic reach or are popular with magazines and that stuff. And nowadays they are opening to the content commerce model. The low-hanging fruit was that white label voucher solution. And I'm really looking forward in new innovations there. You know, they have the content, they have millions of people visiting these sites, and I'm really looking forward of affiliate marketing being a bigger part there, because I think that's a challenge, of course, but this is also a huge benefit. Affiliate marketing can benefit from. 2 times benefit, yeah.
Perfect, thank you. And we've had another question. So we've only got about 5 minutes left, but I'll send this one to Geno. How can agencies benefit each other?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a perfect question for this crowd. Before we started this, we had a little kind of briefing before the webinar started, and a couple of very good questions were asked by Samantha from Awin on the geographies that we work in, the types of niches and publishers that we work in. So I think anywhere where we have UK agencies, Germany, US, so wherever, similarly to how affiliates could complement you in the channels and areas of marketing where you as a brand are not as strong, similarly other agencies can complement you in the geographies where you don't operate or don't have presence, or in the niches where you don't work. We have to turn away clients that could very well grow into some substantial affiliate programs, but we just don't operate in those niches. So we actually refer them to competing agencies. I think that's the answer. That's my answer.
Perfect, thank you. And Steve, do you have anything to add to that one? How agencies can benefit each other?
Yeah, I think just from a point, I guess, expanding on what Geno said, it's really about sharing those insights. It's saying where, what sort of industries are looking strong, what publishers perhaps aren't necessarily a quality publisher, and how do we flag that to the networks? Because at the end of the day, a bad publisher is a bad publisher for every agency, for every advertiser. So I think sharing those kind of insights is certainly how agencies together can help the industry move forward. Because of course, there is some really good examples of affiliates that practice a great job in an affiliate, but there are some affiliates which are a little bit cheeky, and they do try and get away with sending through some sales that perhaps they shouldn't be awarded. So by working together as the community at large, those are the publishers we can shine a light on as networks and as agencies, to say let's get them out there to make more space for those good quality publishers. So I think sharing insights for me is what I would say.
Perfect, thank
Definitely.
you. Yeah. We've had another question that was, how has COVID-19 affected recruitment at your agencies? Can anyone comment on that? Anyone's a bit of a difficult one, that one.
I didn't see any impact. I see more and more people looking for good ways to make money from home, and I didn't see any negative impact.
Great, thank you. And then there's another one. Katy, I don't know if you want to answer this one. It's, are agencies looking to work closer with influencers? Now, obviously, Acquire have a really large fashion base of clients. So does that sort of work within your mix of brands that you work across?
Yeah, definitely, especially because we've obviously got quite a few fast fashion. Influencers are one of the things that we obviously want to expand it with. We work closely with them anyway, as I was saying earlier, with like how we deal with them with the welcome packs and things. Definitely, yeah, it's some area that we obviously want to look at and develop. And I think, again, as I've said before, just being even more transparent with obviously clients and influencers, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't always need to be. I think Johannes was saying earlier, like looking at how influencers obviously can impact, and it's not just about the amount of followers that you've got, but it's the engagement levels and like what exposure they will actually give the brand as well. So I think, yeah, on influencers' behalf, I think because because obviously we get quite a few where they just obviously it's email straight out and it's exactly the same kind of stuff that they're sending in the emails, and obviously as an agency you get it like 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So just to influencers for advice, like tailor what you're kind of saying and the reasons why you obviously want to work with these brands and what you can help to do to like build the brand awareness for them.
Lovely, thanks. And we've got just 1 more minute, so I think it's nice to finish off with a 1-word answer from each of you. It's going to be a difficult one, I'll be honest. You can have 3 max on how you see the affiliate channel evolving over the next sort of 12 to 18 months after everything that's happened this year. So we'll start with you, Steve, then Johannes, then Geno, then Emily, and we'll finish with Katy.
I'm going to say booming.
Booming, like it. Johannes?
Exploding.
Geno?
Rebooted.
Oh, that's a good one. Emily? Oh, you're muted again.
God's sake. I'm going to go for like more of a 3-word phrase if that's okay, but a big growth area.
Nice. And Katy?
Probably expansion and innovation.
Lovely. Lovely. I like it. Okay, well, thank you all again for joining today and for submitting some great questions to our panel. And thank you to Steve from ThoughtMix, Katy from Acquire, Geno from AM Navigator, Johannes from Projector, and Emily from IProspect. For more trends and insights, please do check out our Awin and ShareASell websites, including our coronavirus hubs, which offers information, advice, and sector-level reporting. And in a couple of weeks' time, my colleagues will be hosting 3 more sector webinars, including examining performance across finance, the US agency market, and insights from our global strategic partners. You can sign up or find recordings for today's and previous events on our website, including the most recent travel, retail, and telco webinars. So if you have any more questions or we didn't get around to your questions today, feel free to reach out to me on my Awin email on screen now. I'd also be happy to put you in touch with any of today's panels. So thank you and goodbye.